How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Pokemon leaks, rumors, theories, and speculation for Legends ZA and Pokemon Champions. Sit back, relax, and let's get started. First things first, we're going to be jumping over to 4chan. Here we've got ourselves some new things you guys may be interested in, which is of course going to be a brand new post. Of course, keep in mind these posts oftentimes are BS, but I like to cover them because sometimes these leaks actually do come out with like genuine information. So keep that in mind. Either way, what does this this actual post say though? Well, it starts off saying, did that trailer yesterday excite you? Well, it excited me too, because now I can leak this without the bosses finding out who I am. Now, it's not made explicitly, it's not made explicit exactly how long after, it's not made explicit exactly how long after X and Y the game takes place. All right, that's fair, because this game is clearly not set in the past. We know that for a fact, just based on just watching the gameplay. There's a lot of futuristic stuff like the holograms and stuff like that present in the trailer, which pretty much confirms that, yeah, it's not going to be set in the past, obviously. So we do know that, but we don't really know beyond that, where is it actually set? Is it in the distant future, in the near future, is in the present time of Kalos now? Because technically X and Y is now in the past. Like, those games are technically in the past if you really think about it. But basically they say that it takes place, but it's said that the player character was a baby when Team Flare reactivated the ultimate weapon. It's also implied to take place shortly after the hidden treasure of Area Zero, because Jet mentioned recent discoveries in the Paldea region by Blueberry Academy. So this would imply that it's taken place in the present time, right? And not like, not in the distant future or distant past. It's literally in the present time. Again, if this rumor is real, we don't really know if that's actually true, what they're saying. That's something we're going to have to wait and actually see when we get to the actual, game itself. But again, a lot of this stuff may be remedied with upcoming videos. Like, we might get some, trailer, most likely somewhere around, I want to say, maybe May? I don't know, maybe May. Yeah, maybe May would be when it's going to happen, but we'll see. Either way, they say the next thing here, which is Clement works for Quasartico. Now, we know Clement, one of the characters of course, Ash interacts with in the anime, and of course, somebody you encounter in X and Y, works for Quasartico as an engineer, and Bonnie, his sister, has taken over as the gym leader because, well, she took over from him, I guess. Then they also say that Shauna, Trevor, and Tierno, of course, friends, rivals, whatever you really want to call them, from Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, are going to be in the game. They're going to be actually present in there, according to this, and have all achieved their goals, but they're getting bored with life, and there is a side quest involving helping them spice things up. That sounds a little bit weird. I don't know, Chief. That sounds a little bit odd. Either way, Sycamore, Cena, and Dexio are working on a redevelopment project. Ooh, okay. So Sycamore, Cena, and Dexio are working on the redevelopment project. Okay, so they're all involved with Quasartico then, I guess. Moving on, Looker is investigating Quasartico because he believes there's a conspiracy among some employees to restart Team Flare. Now, Jet isn't a twist villain, but there are a lot of red herrings. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be Vinny, right? It's gotta be Vinny. Like, out of everyone, it's gotta be Vinny. That man is giving off crazy villain vibes, like off the bat, like straight off. Either way, Emma has become the mayor of Lumiose City, which is fine. I mean, that would actually make sense. We do see Looker's office, and we do see a coat that people think is Emma's coat in the trailer. I actually mentioned this already. I can see if I can bring up the actual image of it, because a lot of you guys may have already seen it. For those of you who haven't, I'll actually show it to you guys right here. So if you guys don't know, this is a image from the trailer, and what it shows right here, like what we're looking at, is basically, in layman's terms, it's Looker's office. It's Looker's office from Pokemon X and Y. Of course, if you guys do not know who Looker is, well, he's just a detective. He's just a detective. If you've never played X and Y, you might not know. If you've never played Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, you may not know. But this is clearly his office. He's got a little crime board up here with all the stuff, he's trying to keep track of. And there's just, again, a lot of implications for this being his office, right? But either way, let's see. Moving back to the rumor, though. They say Looker is investigating Quasartico because he believes there is a conspiracy among some employees to restart Team Flare. Okay, we're back to that again. Jet isn't a twist villain, but there are some red herrings. Okay, cool. Emma has become the mayor of Lumio City. That's fine. Stephen Stone is now the president of the Devon Corporation, which would make sense for him to take over after his father, who usually runs it in Hoenn, which purchased bonds to finance Quasartico's redevelopment plan. I wonder if they're going to go deep on it. Like, they got bonds. Like they got stock in the company. Either way, Corinna introduces the player and rival to Mega Evolution. Okay. So Mega Evolving was introduced kind of to us from her back, like with Mega Lucario, right, in X and Y. So it makes sense. Zinnia shows up in the postgame. Let's wait and see what the plot line is. It involves Rayquaza. Again, Rayquaza has been present in the Pokemon anime now as well, so it makes actually a lot of sense. Now, I'm going to finish off this part of this specific, the video with just saying that, again, these rumors, they're really fun, but keep in mind, they are just rumors. There are some of them that end up being real. Like, we actually had a genuine leak right before the Pokemon Day Presents that was actually real and had genuine information. So it's always a chance. Just keep that in mind. Right. So that's that one. Let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be something a little bit different, but it's related to Legends EA still. So let's go to that. It's going to be this. So this is the pre-order bonus for Pokemon Centers for ZA. Yes, you can get ready for an exclusive Pokemon Legends EA offer. It's going to be receiving basically when you get the game, you also receive a random Sitting Cuties plushie featuring Chikorita, Tepig, or Totodile with each pre-order of Pokemon Legends EA from Pokemon Centers, which is pretty neat. I don't know, this is on 4chan, on Reddit, so I don't really know if it's legitimate. It should be, I think, and it's for the Pokemon Centers, which is great. So if you guys do go to a Pokemon Center close to you, if you end up going to Japan like I did a few years ago, go to the Pokemon Center, just get it. If you're already going to be there and if the game is out by the time you go, you might as well, right? It's a free extra plushie, you know what I mean? You might as well do it. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing though, which is going to be this. So this is our boy Soul Silver art. Now, Soul Silver is interesting because he makes these theories and really cool ideas for what possibly we could be getting in Pokemon, Legends EA and all that kind of stuff. He makes some really cool theories, and he has an interesting one here specifically about AZ. Now, if you guys do not know, AZ is one of the people that, he did some crazy shit in X and Y, but he is now back, and he's going to be the guy who's going to be running the hotel that we're going to be going to. So here is basically what the post is about. He includes a picture of AZ's Floette, the Eternal Floette, and you also see AZ himself, and then, of course, a post by Osmio, who says, I saw a tweet earlier today, didn't save it, sorry, that said by being forgiven by Floette, he regained his humanity, thus making him mortal again. In my opinion, 12 years since X and Y, he has aged a lot. Looks like a normal human, hence the cane and the knee brace. He will die at the end of ZA. That would be... that would be crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. That would be intense. By the way, let's go through the rest of the actual post, though. So here's what Soul has to say. Since Pokemon Legends EA was announced last year, I've been a believer that AZ and his Floette would be part of the game and that we'd be able to finally obtain his Floette. To me, there's only 3 ways that this could happen. And here are the options, right? Number 1, a popular fan theory already is that AZ will die somehow. That could happen, okay? Let's be honest, that could happen. Last night, I asked about why he would have a cane or need a cane because maybe his immortality is wearing off, which, yes, he does imply that he's been living for over 3,000 years. And if that's true, then yeah, if he's lost his immortality now after all the events of X and Y, I guess it's time to go. It's time to go, man. I guess so, which would be really sad. And it would be dramatic for a Pokemon game to go all in on something like this. It would be very much different to what they normally do. So it would be intense. I'm not gonna lie. He does say though, I in particular like the theory below that says when Floette forgave him at the end of X and Y, he lost his immortality and has been aging ever since 12 years ago. But I don't know how factually sound that is. So maybe he just passes peacefully finally after living 3,000 years and passes on his Floette to us due to our friendship. The other option, and this is the next one, is that something happens in the plot of ZA where this time he sacrifices himself to save the world, which would be so poetic and powerful and tells Floette to take care of us or for us to take care of Floette. this would, of course, wrap up his story in a great way, but also be a bit too final for a Pokemon game. So maybe we never see him die. Maybe he seemingly just dies, but we just don't really see it happen, right? He may be separated from us and his Floette for the foreseeable future. Then maybe he pops up in Pokemon Masters or something. Lol. Now, I'll post the other 2 ways we could get Floette later, but this would be the best way, in my opinion. So there are a few other theories, which we're going to take a look at right now. So, here we go. There are some concepts that some of the people have said. For example, we have Midnight Sketch here, who's made some great art, who says that I think that the in-world lore would be it joining us temporarily. The fact that we could then keep it forever post-game or put it in home isn't really canon, much like catching all the regional legendaries. The story just acts like they only allow being caught for a while. That's true. Jordan also suggests that the best way would be for him to, well, pass away. Well, that's a bit awful. I don't get why people feel like AZ has to die, which is true. I don't think that's necessarily something they have to do, but it would be interesting because, again, there is elements like the fact that he is walking with a cane now. This is not an element that necessarily, you know, would fit a man who's immortal and shouldn't be needing that yet. If he's 3,000 years old, why would he be needing it now all of a sudden? Unless his aging has returned and he's actually, well, you know, he's genuinely aging away, you know, like he's reached his you know, peak. But again, it's a theory, and I'd love to know just your guys' thoughts and opinions. I do also have some really awesome art here from Cardinal, like some Sugimori art of what like it could look like, which is really freaking cool. And we do have the little art of him actually here as well. But either way, just wanted to show that real quick. So that's that. Let's move on to the next subject. Let's have a little drink. So next up is going to be this. So again, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but Pokemon Legends ZA's release date. So here's the thing. Although the Japanese website may appear to indicate something different by saying autumn 2025, in reality, autumn lasts from September 22nd until December 21st, 2025. So the game's release time frame matches the usual one. Yes, so again, the actual time frame could still end up being the usual one, even like it doesn't really make much of a difference, but Central does say that it's incorrect. While the dates are as you say for the physical season, in terms of Pokemon marketing, November has always been winter. It is false that it is the usual term, since the usual term used is winter. They do have a bit of an argument here. For example, we're still waiting for Synapse to be a rodeo style game like you were hyping before Pokemon Presents. But yeah, either way, it is interesting that they're arguing about this, because I will say it personally myself. It makes the most sense for it to be November, but the fact that they didn't say winter, right? The fact they didn't say winter could either imply that either it's not going to be in December, like, because December just feels a little late for this game, like a little too late. Like, I know it's still like it considered, like, I know that what they said was late 2025, but at that point they could have just said winter, right? Winter would have made way more sense, because winter could have implied November, December, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But late implies a lot of different things. Late could be September, October, November, and December, any of that time frame. So I'd love to know you guys' thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. But what do you actually think that they're implying here? Like, when do you actually think this is going to happen? I'd just love to know. Now, though, let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be this post right here from Lutu. So if you guys haven't seen, there's a giant, like, really big Pokemon map that has been made for Legends EA. And if you look really close on that map, you can actually get a lot of stuff confirmed. For example, Houndoom is confirmed thanks to that, but we also see a close-up of a few trainer classes, right? Like Lasses and you know, Nurse Joy, etc. I think it's the last, or it's a beauty trainer. I'm not really sure. But you also get to see, of course, the Hex Maniac. Yes, she has returned. If you guys do not know, the Hex Maniac is a character that showed up in Pokemon X and Y who says, "You are not the one," and then casually just floats away, which is really weird, but it doesn't really matter. The point just being, she is a character that could be really interesting, or a kind of trainer class that could be seen again, and maybe we'll get an answer to what the hell was up with her back then. Maybe we'll actually get a conclusion to what like was the story. Who was she looking for? Maybe we'll finally learn that information with this, you know, with this game. Maybe we'll finally see what they're talking about. So let's wait and see how that turns out. And other character stuff that we see here is some other trainers. Trainer classes, close-ups, all that kind of stuff. And also we see one of the artist traits. I don't forget what they were called though. It's the one that like draws and stuff, but like there's that. So that's another piece of details. Let's move on to the next one. Actually, I have one more thing to show, which is awesome artwork by Midnight Sketch here, who made a HD version of this artwork that we looked at right here, which is really cool. Give him a shout out. I'm going to be linking their thingy down below and all that sort of stuff. So definitely give it a look-see. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. So this one is going to be, this one's going to be big, okay? This right here. So what you're looking at right here is literally reversed colors, right? Literally reversed colors between the actual playable character and your rival. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean. If we go Pokemon Legends EA, like website, right? If we go to the official website for Pokemon Legends EA, you will notice that when you look at your rival, right, and your own character that you play as, if we scroll all the way down here until we find them, right? So this is what your character normally looks like, and this is what the character looks like if they have the colors of your rival. Because if we scroll further down, right, we can actually open up this artwork over here just to make the point a bit more clear. We're going to open it up and just have it open, and we're going to scroll down and find our actual rival. And here are the rivals. And we're going to also put them right here. Now, you may see, okay, your rival is wearing kind of a beige-looking jacket, and you can clearly tell what they're looking like, right? And you can see right here, same thing with our character. Now, here they've inverted them, and it still works. Like, the colors are literally, like the character we're playing as, like our actual playable protagonist, is the rival as well, but it's just slightly changed clothing and a different hair color and eyes. But other than that, they are practically the same characters. It's just that they've been inverted. Like, literally, their colors have been inverted, which is really freaking cool. I already talked about this a little bit before. It's a cool little detail. So just wanted to share that as well, because it's just a small little thing I thought would be fun to bring up, and I'd love to know you guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Let's move on to the next one. And this is going to be this post from Kai. Now, he says here, looks like we have Pokemon home textures at work in Pokemon Champions. Hopefully this means we don't have to download even more extra data on the phone. Now, what are we talking about? Well, basically, it looks like Pokemon Home and Pokemon Champions are going to be using the same sort of models, which makes sense because the game is going to be have connectivity between them. And also, it would make no sense for a game that's going to be hyper competitive to go really all out with making brand new models when you already have existing ones for Pokemon Home that still do the job, technically speaking. So yes, it looks like they're going to be reusing the models from Pokemon Home, which means the connectivity between these games is going to be interesting. So I will leave you guys with that. Let's move on to another kind of interesting theory, to be fair with you guys. So it's going to be this one. This comes to us from Pokisutami. Now, Pokisutami makes some great videos, makes some great translations for Pokemon-related stuff from Japanese to English. And here's what they discovered. Name meanings explained in Japanese. Jet and Vinny. The Japanese names, Jet is Jetto, more or less the same in English and Japanese, like a jet plane, I guess. Vinny is Masukato, which is grape, literally a wine grape. Now, I guess the connection would be that Vinny could be a play on the word vineyard, where grapes are grown for making wine. For Japanese language explanations and all these things, please check out her YouTube channel, of course, which is going to be definitely worthwhile to do. There's a video right there. I definitely think it would be worthwhile checking it out. But there is some stuff more to say about Jet. People have noticed that Jet has a lot of weird connections to other characters and other things. Like, there's some theories about who Jet could be based on. I will talk more about this stuff. Like, we're gonna have a lot of videos talking about it. But like, there seems to be a weird connection between Jet and other characters. Somebody, for example, saw that Jet, like Water Jet, maybe because her hair even goes in a weird twisty way. She is, of course, the CEO of Quasartico, and somebody even like tried to like guess that, okay, maybe she's based on Seabold, right? Because, I mean, they do look similar. I mean, look at the hairstyle. I mean, come on. And also, Seabold literally uses water types, a water jet. Again, it really makes sense. It fits, at least like on a surface level, right? So I'd love to know, again, you guys' thoughts and opinions on these theories. Shout out to Autopack for this actual theory. I think it's awesome that people share these. It's great. But yeah, I'd love to know you guys' thoughts and opinions. And now, let's move on to the final part of the video. It's going to be this one right here. Now, this is just some breakdowns and stuff you may or may not know, and it's coming to us again from Soul, saying not only did the battle gameplay style change, but how Mega Evolution worked changed in Legends EA. Yes, so Megas are no longer turn-based and last for like a certain amount of turns or anything like that. It's rather like Mega Evolution is... How do you say it? It's like temporary time-wise, right? It lasts for a specific amount of time. It's on a timer. So as many people have pointed out, there is now a gauge or limited meter to gauge to use Mega Pokemon. The truth is, we don't know anything other than this about it. Does it need to be full to use a new Mega? Can we swap through multiple Megas on our team as long as there's energy left on the meter, or is the meter once per battle, or does each Pokemon have its own meter? I think this might function similarly to there's some other games that do like similar stuff to this, where like you can actually like you have a meter for a special like ability or something, and that meter can be charged up by going to a location to charge it up again. So something like that could work. Again, it is really curious though, like how will it actually work? Can we use the meter and in turn Mega Pokemon outside of battle to do tasks? Once it runs out, does Pokemon either return to normal or is it called back? Will there be an item to refill the meter mid-battle, or how do we refill the meter? Can we craft or upgrade our meter to last longer? Good questions. Lore question. Is the meter infinity energy? Where does it come from? And how does it, what does it have to do with the story? Again, it could be like specific spots, hot spots we can go to recharge our mega energy. That's a possible thing that I would say. It's a bit of a weird one that I have. But yeah. Again, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. I don't really know what else there, what else to really say about it. But battles are also, again, like RC here says, they're gonna be more dynamic again, because you're gonna be able to actually like do AoE damage. Like if you do attacks, they're gonna hit targets all around and not just the Pokemon you're specifically battling, which is great because that's something that just makes sense to have in a game like this, where you're gonna have like action combat, practically speaking. But that pretty much summarizes what we had to talk about today, guys. That's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.